Now in the final hour or hours, depending on where you live, of primary election day in Virginia and D.C., and the stakes couldn't be higher. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Lorenzo Hall. We've got a lot to cover tonight. Let's start in D.C. with the Democratic mayoral primary. This usually determines who will win in November because we know D.C. is heavily Democratic. So challenging Mayor Muriel Bowser's re-election run, council members Trayon White and Robert White and D.C. businessman James Butler. Our Megan Rivers begins our coverage tonight from the Turkey Thicket Rec Center, and it's a polling site in Northeast D.C. And Megan, you've been following the candidates all day as they make their final push to voters. What can they say to voters at this point?
Well, number one, they've been thanking voters for coming out to the polls and exercising their rights to vote. We've also seen a number of voters who've been asking the candidates who've been at this polling location directly what they would do to curb gun violence if they're elected to be the mayor of D.C. You know, we had a chance to speak to all 4 Democratic candidates today, and we asked them one final time why voters should choose them.
We don't need luck, we need votes.
In Northeast D.C., current Ward 8 council member Trayon White and his team spoke to voters as they headed to the polls at Turkey Thicket Rec Center. White says historically voter turnout is low in the primaries, but he's confident in his campaign efforts to become the next mayor of D.C.
Well, I just hope for a more equitable D.C., that the amount of money we're amassing in D.C., the amount of resources we have in D.C., I'm just hopeful that it reaches all the people in a way that works for the people and that people come out today and vote Trayon White for mayor.
Just steps away was one of his opponents. James Butler voted at the Recreation Center on Tuesday. He says voters should choose him because he's the face of a new D.C.
I am the only non-career politician in this race that will make the D.C. one of the safest cities in America. I promised it to the voters early on, and I will deliver on it.
Crime has been top of mind for many voters and the economic challenges the ongoing coronavirus pandemic created. Mayor Bowser saying she's proven she can continue to do the job.
I've accomplished a lot in D.C. as a council member and as a 2-term mayor. I am proud of the work I have done with my team to work with our community to bring us through COVID, to fight Donald Trump, to protect our city from being taken over.
With his daughters by his side, at-large council member Robert White voted and spoke with constituents, saying if elected to become the next mayor, progression for all of D.C. would be his top focus.
I can't speak to anybody else's reason for running. I know mine. My reason is to change the city for the better, to make it a city where everybody can live, where everybody can thrive, but more importantly, when we build the foundation of hope that we haven't seen in a few decades in this city, and that's an important time.
Well, again, if you are planning to vote, you have until 8 p.m. to do that in person. As you can see behind me, it's still a pretty steady flow of people, a pretty decent crowd out here. Again, if you have your mail-in ballot and you haven't already put it in the mail, you can put your ballot in one of those drop boxes around the city. If you put it in the mail, it needed to be postmarked by today in order for it to count. But again, the polls in person close at 8 today, so about 2 hours left to come out and cast your vote. That's the latest from here in Northeast D.C. I'm Megan Rivers. I'll send things back to you all in the studio.
Like a big family cookout behind you. Nice to see people showing up. And we know we've heard from voters, Megan, who say they're tired of talking. They want to see change. So whoever wins, the pressure is certainly on. Megan Rivers, thank you, my friend.